Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Stop what you're doing and check this out. 18,000 weapons were given to reservists in Kiev. This is after Ukraine banned men from the ages of 18 to 60 from leaving the country. 18,000 guns with ammunition were distributed to hold back the Russian invasion, with more firearms coming. Our country's own Second Amendment is one of the key reasons why we don't have to be worried about being invaded. One Japanese admiral is quoted as saying, "I would never invade America. There is a gun behind every blade of grass." The Second Amendment pocket watch is an excellent way to show support for your American gun rights while adding a new accessory to your everyday carry. It's a high-quality stainless steel pocket watch with patriotic engravings of skulls, revolvers, and Second Amendment quotes. I always get compliments when I bring this one out in public. Imagine how impressed your friends will be when you show this one off. The best part about it is the offer is absolutely free. Just handle the shipping. If you support the Second Amendment, you and your family will love it. Get the Second Amendment pocket watch for free. Just pay the shipping for the next 24 hours by going to supportthesecond.com or by visiting the link below. And you can find, speaking of links, go to the link tree, clickety-clack in the description box. I'm on Spotify, Rumble, and now you can find me on Recoil TV. That's right, link will be in the description box. Recoil TV, green peace. Not like peace, man, but like give them a piece of my mind. And I got new merch, promo code 1984 for 20% off, brand new designs. Check that out. Now, as promised, I suffered through the State of the Union address. And when I say suffer, I mean suffer. That shit was hard to watch. There was probably 5 minutes left, and I turned it, I bailed. Like Biden on a sentence, I bailed. I quit. I couldn't do it. I got so sick of hearing him trail off words. I got so sick of those sycophants standing up every 30 seconds to do an ovation. And what I think it was, I think the reason they were clapping so much is to keep him from talking so much. Because there are times where he wants to start talking again, and they keep the standing ovation going. Now, normally, when your keynote speaker starts talking and you're clapping, when you hear your voice, that means you stop clapping. They're going to start speaking again. You need to pay attention. Not this time. They just kept clapping, and he had to wait for the crowd to stop clapping before he started talking again. President of the United States. It was sad from top to bottom. Like I said, it was chock full of bullshit and lies. And what they do really well is they create a straw man. Now, what's a straw man? Long time ago, long time ago, it was a form of execution. So they would take straw and sticks, branches, kindling, that kind of shit, and they would build a straw man, 20, 30 feet high, giant, like I said, a few stories high, humongous, enough to stuff 100 or so people in there. So they build this straw man with room inside of it. It's a 3-dimensional straw man. And they fill it with people, the non-believers, the sinners, people who did wrong. They fill it with a bunch of people, and then they light it on fire, and all of those people choke on smoke and burn to death. But their straw man, the way we mean it now, is they create this bad man, they create a villain out of nowhere and then come up with the solution and look like heroes. It's like you being an arson, you set the building on fire, but then you grab the water hose and put the fire out, and you're somehow a hero. They don't look at you as the arson who set the damn fire in the first place. They just look at you as you came up with the solution. Yay! So a lot of the bullshit he was talking about yesterday, he created the problem. So how are you going to come in here with the answer like you're the savior? You put it in this position in the first place. And what was funny, before I forget, he was talking about some overseas shit and the special forces in Afghanistan. And somebody yelled out, I didn't get her name. Let me know in the comment section. But she says, yeah, you did that. 13 of them. And she yelled that shit on everybody's like, boo, boo. But she was right. Those 13 servicemen who died were his fault as he did the ultimate fumble of all time and screwed up the evac from Afghanistan. He screwed up the pulling out from Afghanistan. And he was responsible for those 13 deaths. That's what that I believe she was a congresswoman was yelling out. Let me know in the comment section. But as I said yesterday in my pre-State of the Union address video, it was going to be tons of misspeaks and bailed sentences and phrases. And all the way through, from the beginning to the very end, was a series of 10,000 American people. He would start the next word before finishing the first word. Like he wanted to rush and get through it. Like he had to get home and watch Matlock or some shit. Or Jill had a fresh bowl of butterscotch pudding in the refrigerator. He's probably so old, they probably still got the ice box. It was actually a box with a big ass chunk of ice in it. Either way, he was acting like there's somewhere better he needed to be than addressing the American people. And he made it sound like from the moment he put his hand on the Bible and was inaugurated, it's just been a series of victories and wins for him. And it has not. And one of the first misspeaks he did was he said, a pound of Ukrainian people. I don't know what that means. I didn't realize Ukrainian people were so small that you would need multiple ones to make a pound of them. But that's what he said, a pound of Ukrainian people. And he was talking about how all the world community is squeezing Russia's financials, their money. They're cutting off their money so they can destabilize the ruble. And as I said before, the real losers are the citizens of these countries. Because all these sanctions they're putting on, it's screwing the average everyday Russian person. This conflict is screwing the average everyday Ukrainian person. And let's not get it twisted. Let's not act like Putin is he's the only bad guy in this scenario. The president of Ukraine and his successors were pieces of shit too. All right? He was a dictator. He arrested and jailed the people running against him. He shut down the TV and newspapers. He is a dictator. He is not innocent in all of this. Just because he throws on a flak jacket and gets out there with the soldiers does not mean that he's absolved of any wrongdoing either. So they're two bad guys going at two bad guys going at it. But of course, Russia, Putin. So, and one moment where I bet most of the people in there, especially all the weirdos in there clapping at everything he said. There was a moment, what's that meme where Homer Simpson kind of scoots back into the bushes like, oh, I better get out of here. They're going to start talking to me. Kind of like, it's getting hot in here. Was when he was talking about going after the Russian oligarchs and their yachts and expensive apartments and shit. Some of them were like, hey, wait, hold on, Joe. Are you talking about us or the Russians? Because that's the same shit these crooks are doing here, getting rich off the backs of us. And it was just terrible. So we're coming after you and your ill-gotten gains. Careful with that ill-gotten gain shit, or you might have to start pointing that financial gun at us. Because there's a whole bunch of fools sitting in that audience and sitting behind you. And I don't care. Look, this is my channel, all right? I say what I want. I say what I think. So I don't mean to come off as sexist or whatever. Take it how you want. But he looked weak as shit up there with those two old women sitting behind him. Okay? Nancy Pelosi is old as fuck. I don't know what that smile was. She was sitting there on her face all night long. Like she was like, I don't know if she was thinking about a nice cold, sweaty glass of some kind of dark liquor on the rocks waiting for her at home. But she also has that perma-drunk, slurred speech too, just like Biden. Slurring your words together, trailing off sentences. But she was on something. Because she was looking a little too happy back there. And I'm sure every time she got her old ass up to do a standing ovation, there's probably dust and sand coming out of her joints. But that shit looked weak. I'm sorry. For you to be sitting up there with two women behind you as a second and third person in charge. Guys, do you know how dangerous that is? We got Biden here standing next to a 6-foot hole in the ground with 1 foot on a banana peel. And the two people that are going to take his place are Kamala Harris and possibly Nancy Pelosi. That's a sin. That should send a shiver up your spine. That should make your asshole clench so tight you couldn't get a grease BB out of it. But again, it was the cup of Biden verbal fuck-ups just overflowed. And a lot of the shit he was talking about, he sounded like somebody else. He's in there talking about, look, we got to make things America and we got to keep things safe. Who else was talking like that? Can't remember. And one of the stupidest things he said toward the end, he was talking about the border. I don't know why. I don't know why you would use the State of the Union address to talk about shit you don't care about. But he decided to bring up the border. And you know what he said? He said, we put scanners on the border. Scanners. So the coyotes and the cartels and all that shit, the human traffickers who are trafficking women and children and all that kind of stuff, they're going to get to our border and go, whoa, guys, hold on. What out of the special forces do? They put the fist up. Hey, stop. Hold on. Wait a minute, guys. They're scanners. We got to turn back. See those? Those scanners. No, they're not physical people that can arrest us and throw us to the ground and zip tie us and throw us back over the border. No, guys, it's a scanner and cameras and drones. Okay, so now you can film them coming over the border in hordes, in HD, in 1080p. Damn near 2 million fucking people a month. But now we can see them in HD. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you putting scanners on the border. You couldn't send that cackling hua behind you down to the border. But don't worry, guys. You are safe. Sleep comfortably tonight knowing that there's scanners down there. Talked about the bullshit voting rights. Let's pass the Voting Rights Act. If you got to pass a Voting Rights Act now in 2022, what the fuck were they doing back there in the 60s? With those Voting Rights Acts and Civil Rights Acts, what were they doing? Did they waste their time? Could they have just sat that one out and waited for 2022 to roll along so you can take care of it? Just so much bullshit, so many lies. And so many times they sat up clapping for that shit. These people are evil. They are evil and disgusting. And don't worry, they want to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. That should make all of you small business owners happy as I can't even finish that one. My dad used to tell me one that was happy as somebody with a fistful of dicks. That's all I can tell you, but you should be paid $15 an hour to pull French fries out of grease and flip burgers. I can't stand that shit. Okay? Those are called minimum wage jobs for a reason. You should not be highly paid for low-skilled work. Minimum wage jobs are for young people to get themselves into the workforce, for old people to subsidize their retirement. And if you shouldn't have to raise a family in poverty. Look, if you have a minimum wage job, don't have no fucking babies. You don't have to have them. If you have a minimum wage job or a job that cannot pay for those babies, don't have them. Don't raise the wage on the jobs. Make those people make better decisions. No, you shouldn't be able to raise a family of 4 on McDonald's. What the fuck? Is that so earth-shattering? No, you shouldn't be able to. If you got a family of 4 or 5 or 6 and you work at Wendy's, you fucked up. That's your fault. Fix it. Why don't you save up for a vasectomy or a hysterectomy? Fuck, man. People are never going to do better if you keep these low-ass expectations on them. And he said, one of my favorite slip-ups, because you know the sweet and sour sniffles is one of their favorites. He says, you can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. Oh, shit. And then, hey, I know I'm all over the place with different topics, but so is he. And he's talking about, and there was a lot of announcing. Tonight, I'm going to announce that we're going to start talking about doing stuff. Tonight, I announce that we're going to get a special prosecutor to prosecute businesses that were committing COVID-19 fraud. Isn't that what the entire federal government just did? But if you committed some kind of fraud with the COVID-19 relief funds that you got, or you were gaming the system, don't worry, they're going to appoint a special prosecutor to start talking about things that they might want to do in the future. It was a bunch of empty words. It was like going to a really old person's retirement and everybody else has spoken and now it's their turn to have the mic and you have to sit there and listen to it because it's their retirement party. But obviously senility has made a comfortable home in their brain and you got to sit there and listen to them babble on about incoherent shit for 15 minutes. That's what this was like. Why are his eyes always squinting? You look like Mr. Magoo when he takes his glasses off. Sorry, guys. Visuals mean something. We get the majority of our information from our eyes, from our ocular stems. And the leaders around the world, really the only one we need to care about, President Xi, or whatever his name is from China, they are laughing hysterically. You ever laugh so hard where whoever's making you laugh, you tell them, stop, 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 because your stomach hurts. You're in pain. That's how hard those people are laughing at this fool, this mush-mouth duck feeder. When I call him a duck feeder, what I mean is he should be pond-side in a wheelchair with a blanket over his lap, feeding ducks stale bread instead of running the country. It was sad from top to bottom. There were lies from top to bottom. What the? I just don't get it, man. I hope that the people clapping who are in the room with him aren't representative of the majority of the country, because that shit was sick. And then he's wrapping it all up with the, hey, let's come together, all right? We're opening things back up. People can go out unmasked now. Hey, let's be cool, guys. Let's not fight amongst each other, poked versus unpoked. After you vilified people that didn't get poked for the last 2 years, or for the last year you've been in office, talking about it's a pandemic of the unvaxxed. This is gonna be a winter of sickness and death. Telling us that the reason there's an empty seat at the kitchen table is because you didn't get poked. You killed your grandmother. You might as well have gone over there with a pillow and put it over her face at the breakfast table. So after all that, now you're saying, hey, let's get along, guys. Fuck you. Watching that was like watching somebody who's abusive. And after they slap you down the stairs, they run down the stairs. Hey, get up. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, you made me do that. But hey, let's move past that now. Let's get you some ice. Let's get you some frozen peas or a steak for your eye. And let's move on. Let's just move past it. That's what that shit was like. It was sad, it was disgusting, and it was a bunch of bullshit. But we still got a chance. We still have midterms. But that State of the Union address was exactly what you thought it was going to be. Exactly. If somebody can find me a full paragraph he got to with enunciating all of the words and finishing every sentence, I will send you some free green gear. Let me know. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.